Supermicro, yesterday, the 27th of June 2025, closed its $2.3 billion senior notes offering. They also used around $300 million to buy back some of its shares, which will be roughly over 6 million shares. So this is to minimize the dilution that may occur in future or may occur right now. So of course, you know very well the holders of these notes. They also sell the stock short, and they also have options allocated to them by for holding those senior notes. So all sorts of things happen, all sorts of hedgings occur, and all that stuff. So they are constantly trying to ensure that they are making money while they hold those notes. So yesterday we saw a piece written here. It says Supermicro stock unlikely to outperform from here, according to analysts at KeyBank. So they say the Supermicro computer may be a hot name in the AI server market, but its growth story is becoming increasingly difficult to digest. That's according to analysts with KeyBank Capital Markets, who initiated coverage on the company in the information technology sector on Wednesday. That Wednesday was the 25th. So Supermicro, Dell Technologies, and HPE were all given sector weight rating, with analysts noting that the peers seem collectively pressured. The firm sees server business as a highly fragmented market with well-funded players such as Lenovo and HPE. Crucially, the space leaves much to be desired in terms of product differentiation. Price is often the main point of distinction, which results in servers being one of the lowest margin products in the firm's coverage. Against this competitive backdrop, it's unclear how Supermicro can make a name for itself, the analyst wrote. Unlike its peers, the company owns fewer patents, with which contributes to structurally lower margins. I have to point out here that in as much as it's important to own patents, the advantage of owning patents is that it can serve as a deterrent. But if you're owning patents against bigger players like even Dell and Lenovo, so actually, yeah, even Dell, so Dell, at least HPE, for instance, especially HPE being the oldest of all of them. If you're holding patents to see if you can deter HP from coming to your space, it's really not going to work. They are going to infringe on your space regardless. They may infringe on that so-called space of yours. This is because when you file a patent, it's assumed that you own it. But these big players like HPE, you know, I'm not saying that this is what they will do, but big players, let's just say big players, players that are bigger than you, players that know how these things work, can still go ahead and infringe on the so-called patents you have because they know how it works. When you own a patent and you challenge it, then what they will do is they go to the patent office and they tell the patent office that this is what you did, that they begin to challenge your patent and begin to water it down and break it down. And in a lot of cases, some of these patents are not worth the salt they are written on. This is not to say that patents are not good, but you know if you have a claim, if you have a patent, you can, even if it's worth it, it's genuine and everything. By the time they begin to break it down, you may find out that a lot of things that you call patents are actually not. They have already been achieved elsewhere and all that stuff. So and also some organizations know these things and they go ahead and do stuff like that. So this is just to clear out the issue around patents. So nonetheless, the stock was up 4.3% to $48.6 in Wednesday's trading, with a year-to-date gain of around 59%, whereas the Nasdaq gained only 0.6% during that period. So KeyBank expects Supermicro's growth to slow over time and forecasts revenue well below management's target. The server maker itself projects roughly $22 billion in revenue for 2025, representing a 48% year-over-year spike. Guidance for $40 billion in revenue in 2026 implies growth of more than 80%. The firm considered that it tends to take a more conservative stance and pins revenue growth for fiscal 2025 and 2026 at 48.2% and 22% respectively. In KeyBank's view, Supermicro's own growth forecasts are unachievable, particularly given we have seen competitors such as Dell get wins with key customers such as XAI, and the industry's growth is expected to slow. Speaking of XAI, the Elon Musk founded company is thought to be one of Supermicro's largest customers alongside CoreWeave and Tesla. This customer concentration is worth watching, the analyst said. Around 37% of total sales derived from just two customers is the most in the most recent quarter, down sequentially from 58%. But also did mention Nvidia. Nvidia we know very well, is SMCI's key customers, but it doesn't invalidate what is written there. So let's see. Additionally, Nvidia disclosed a solid set of Q1 results last week, which reflects positively on SMCI. Nvidia stated that the rollout of its new Blackwell GPU is progressing well, with these latest products now making up to 70% of data center volume, some data center revenue in the previous quarter, indicating that Blackwell sales have roughly doubled from the previous quarters. Supermicro server solutions are closely linked to NVIDIA's GPU ecosystem and roadmap. The company has generally been more agile than its peers in delivering server systems that align with NVIDIA's latest products. Thanks to its modular system designs, advanced cooling and power systems, and close collaboration with NVIDIA regarding software and hardware integration, SMCI is likely to reap some substantial rewards as a primary provider of custom high-density GPU servers for NVIDIA's data center customers as the deployment of Blackwell continues to expand. So yeah, it doesn't mean that yeah, these are also customers as well. So maybe if you sum all of them up, then it's a concentration. If you sum up XAI, CoreWeave, and Tesla, then it's a concentration around 37% of the total sales. It doesn't mean that Nvidia's the revenue from Nvidia could even be more than 37%, or it could just be slightly more than that. Okay, so around 37% of total sales derived from just two customers in the most recent quarter, down sequentially from 58%. So this could also be in reference to Nvidia. They didn't. It could also be. It's not exactly that clear. Okay, so it's clear that SMCI's largest customers can meaningfully swing the growth trajectory, according to KeyBank. Given the concentration of revenue, they are concerned that a slowdown in a relatively small number of customers could result in a deterioration of SMCI's growth. The firm expects Supermicro's gross margins to continue to trend lower, which calls for an inflection in the next several quarters. Compared with its peers, Supermicro's operating margins are the lowest in the industry, which are just which they just don't think they find attractive. Then there are the customers' persistent account. Okay, we know that already. The company faced delisting again in February. Okay, so yeah, okay, we have to point them out. It's important that we point them out. So Submicro delisted in 2018 after failing to file its financials on time, and was fined 2 years later by the SEC for accounting violations. Yeah, let's see up here. Yeah, okay, and then there was this the BDO dropped them as clients. Okay, as other analysts have noted, this reputational risk could weigh on Supermicro's valuation. Ultimately, they believe that it will take time for management to regain credibility with investors. Okay, so this that's some negative, and it's good that we see some of the negatives. Not everything. We don't want to paint a totally rosy picture all the time. You know, let's come down to its daily chart. So the line trend is has gone neutral. It's no, no, it's neutral to bullish now. You know, and what we have 58.07, 65.33, 69.6, 69.82. So we have our own projections. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have for SMCI. We have projections. Let's see. We have projections. Clearly, we do. We have okay, from current levels, we have 50.14, 53.35, and higher. So here we have clearly have higher prices. 58.07, 65.33, 69.82. So, and we know very well Nvidia is doing well. Nvidia is on its way to print a market cap of around $4 trillion. You know, that's it definitely bodes well for SMCI. So given the skepticism, given the short interest, the skepticism in terms of short interest, and more of these negative opinions, and given how well the company is thriving, how how attractive the company is as well. It's we things will continue to look up. Regardless. So it's good to have those skepticism, because amidst all of those things, the company will strive to surmount them, and if it does surmount them, and if the good news keeps coming, and then it will continue to feed into the valuations of the stock. So see what you make of SMCI, and thank you very much for watching this video.